Hello Captain, welcome to my channel. 082, Update ships and changes. Alpha testing continues, these may still change. CN Tip 055A. Unit parameters. Upgraded ship camera. Sonar range increased from 1.33 km to 2 km. CN Liran. Unit parameters. Detection view range increased from 3.33 km to 4 km, privacy added. Unit equipment parameters. DF11. Lockdown time reduced from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. CN DDG 203 Kailin. Unit parameters. Privacy added. Unit equipment parameters. Tip 079A. Air firing feature added. Can now fire both ships and aircraft. Improved overall accuracy. Added explosion radius and blast radius for better aircraft interception. Projectile speed increased from 778 knots to 875 knots, reload increased from 3.5 seconds to 5 seconds. Reduction of fire range from 8 km to 7.3 km. CN Type 003. Unit parameters. Completely remastered ship model. Detection visibility increased from 3 km to 3.67 km, durability increased from 420,000 to 430,000. Unit equipment parameters. Added +1 autocannon to existing autocannon slot. The total number of autocannons is 6. USS Jack H. Lucas, DDG, 125. Unit equipment parameters. RIM 174C. Number of launches reduced from 3 to 2 missiles in one explosion. Reload reduced from 7.4 s to 6. Damage increased from 12,000 to 14,000. Added +1,000 AOE damage per bullet. Lockout time reduced from 0.3 s to 0.2 s. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.4 s to 0.3 s. Ammunition increased from 15 to 18 bursts. In summary, total damage remains unchanged and 540,000 left in stock. DPM increased by 21,911. Added +1 torpedo to existing slot. CN Type 100. Unit equipment parameters. Type 100 DF 17. Design damage repaired. Main warhead should now deal 7,000 damage. Each warhead contains 2 cluster bombs of 3,000 damage each. Potential burst damage is 117,000 stock and 135,900 fully upgraded. Only main warhead damage can be upgraded. Elevated missile trajectory. Added ability to launch from underwater. ROKS Zhongzhou the Great. Unit parameters. Maximum speed increased from 16.5 knots to 18.5 knots, USS Arsenal ship. Unit equipment parameters. Arsenal railgun, 155 mm. Damage per bullet increased from 9,000 to 12,000. USS Missouri, BB 63. Unit equipment parameters. Mark 7, 406 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Mark 12, 127 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Bofors Quadro, 40 mm. Improved ball accuracy. RF Admiral Gorshkov. Unit parameters. Durability increased from 300,000 to 315,000. Unit equipment parameters. 9K96 rejection. Damage per bullet increased from 900 to 1,000. Fire range increased from 3 km to 3.67. CN Kaisiao. Unit parameters. Durability increased from 390,000 to 400,000. Unit equipment parameters. HPJ 95, 280 mm. Damage per bullet increased from 9,000 to 10,000. Reload reduced from 14 seconds to 12 seconds. YJ-21E. Reload increased from 8.5 seconds to 13 seconds. Damage per bullet increased from 17,000 to 26,000. Lock time increased from 2s to 2.5s. Ammunition reduced from 16 to 12 shells. Health increased from 20 to 40. Orbital adjustments. Pan-spatial redrum. Unit equipment parameters. RDR launcher, 200 mm. Improved launcher accuracy. ROKS KDDXS, unit equipment parameters. Chunmoo. Fire range increased from 6 km to 6.7 km. Acceleration speed increased from 97.3 knots to 136.2 knots. Chunmoo 2. Increasing the fire range from 7.7 km to 8.3 km. Acceleration speed increased from 77.8 knots to 175.1 knots. KTSSM. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.6s to 0.4s. Acceleration speed increased from 97.3 knots to 194.6 knots. KDDXS launcher, 130 mm. Acceleration speed increased from 58.36 knots to 116.73 knots, increasing the fire range from 5.3 km to 6.3 km. FGS Bismarck, H-41V. Unit equipment parameters. MLG, 27 mm. Damage increased from 32 to 40. 50% reduction in bullet spread. Increasing the fire range from 2.3 km to 2.67 km. USS New Hampshire, BB, 1011. Unit equipment parameters. Hammer. Damage per bullet increased from 1,400 to 2,000. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.8s to 0.5s. Rim 116C. Damage per bullet increased from 700 to 800. Projectile speed increased from 175.1 knots to 272.4 knots. Puma. Maximum speed increased from 46.6 knots to 58.3 knots. AGM 86. Acceleration increased from 97 knots to 194.5 knots. MK 37, 41, 305 mm. Critical damage chance increased from 0.1 to 0.25. FS Aquitaine, D650. Unit equipment parameters. Added +1 missile to current slot. Pan-spatial Titan. Unit equipment parameters. M3. Increasing the fire range from 8.7 km to 9.7 km. Lock time reduced from 2.4s to 2s. Damage per bullet increased from 16,000 to 18,000. Health increased from 75 to 140. FS Sword Ship. Unit parameters. Detection view range increased from 3.3 km to 4 km. Unit equipment parameters. SWS-3CR, improved ball accuracy. Reload reduced from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. Damage per bullet increased from 7,500 to 8,500. SWS-MLRS. Reload reduced from 9 seconds to 7.5 seconds. Damage per bullet increased from 5,000 to 6,000. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.35s to 0.3s. Acceleration speed increased from 77.8 knots to 136.18 knots. FS Charles de Gaulle, R91. Unit equipment parameters. +2 helicopters added. RF Admiral Isakov. Unit equipment parameters. A280, 280 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. P1000 Vulcan. Reload reduced from 9 seconds to 8.5 seconds. Lockout time reduced from 2s to 1.5s. CN Type 058. Unit parameters. Maximum speed increased from 18.6 knots to 19.6 knots. Unit equipment parameters. HPJ 99R 155 mm. Explosion bullets reduced from 4 to 3. Damage per bullet increased from 10,500 to 16,000. HMS Glasgow, Type 26. Unit equipment parameters. 8 Malawian Kwacha's Mod 2, 155 mm. Damage per bullet increased from 14,500 to 16,000. USS DDG, X. Unit equipment parameters. Added +1 torpedo to existing slot. FS Blue Shark. Unit equipment parameters. RBS 15 for Malawi and Quachas. Damage per bullet increased from 14,000 to 16,000. Reload reduced from 11.5 seconds to 10 seconds. BSCN 127 mm. Damage per bullet increased from 6,000 to 6,500. FS/SNLE 3G. Unit equipment parameters. M51 TN75. Reload reduced from 23 seconds to 22 seconds. F-21 Artemis, E. Reload reduced from 15 seconds to 13 seconds. FGS F-127. Unit parameters. Durability increased from 320,000 to 335,000. HMS Type 83. Unit parameters. Sonar range increased from 2 km to 2.67 km. Detection visibility increased from 4 km to 4.67 km. Maximum speed increased from 17.5 knots to 18.8 knots. RF Moscow. Unit equipment parameters. Moscow 305 mm, reduced bullet spread. Moscow 122 mm, improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. RBU 16,000. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.35 s to 0.3 s. Projectile speed increased from 418.3 knots to 457.2 knots, TF 2000. Unit equipment parameters. Added +1 torpedo to existing slot. JS Akazuki, DD-115. Unit equipment parameters. M270A2 MLRS, 270 mm. Health increased from 80 to 150. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.3 s to 0.25 s. IJN Yamato. Unit equipment parameters. Main gun, 460 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Secondary gun, 155 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Small gun, 52 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Increasing the fire range from 5.3 km to 6.3 km. USS Battlecruiser 2000. Unit equipment parameters. Thunderpulse. Damage per bullet increased from 18,000 to 20,000. MGM 125 Serpent Fire. Damage per bullet increased from 14,000 to 18,000. Pan-Spatial Argonas. Unit equipment parameters. Phalanx Edge CIWS 2 by 20 mm, replaced by RIM-200R air defense systems. USS Enterprise, CVN-80. Unit parameters. Durability increased from 425,000 to 450,000. JS Yamato Aegis. Unit equipment parameters. Type 94 Mod 2, 460 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Mark 45 Mod 2, 127 mm. Improved ball accuracy. Reduced bullet spread. Aircraft missile decoy reload time increased from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. TU-22M3M. Unit parameters. Health increased from 13,500 to 15,500. Unit equipment parameters. X-50. Damage per bullet increased from 15,000 to 20,000. Acceleration speed increased from 38.9 knots to 116.7 knots. Maximum speed increased from 330.5 knots to 418.2 knots. Health increased from 100 to 200. X-32. Delay between bullets reduced from 0.6 s to 0.3 s. Acceleration speed increased from 58.3 knots to 175 knots. Health increased from 20 to 80. Mirage IVP. Unit equipment parameters. ASMP. Damage per bullet increased from 55,000 to 70,000. Health increased from 30 to 100.